Have you ever liked someone you weren't supposed to like? Or at least you thought you weren't supposed to like them? Or you just weren't sure if liking them would lead to joy and happiness or the complete and utter destruction of your heart? Because there is no in between, right? That's what this episode is about. Hello, Lover Nutters. I'm Kelly Shanley, a stand-up comic who spent 10 years on the dating apps in LA. And these are my stories. Welcome to the Dating is Nuts podcast, formerly known as For Love or Peanut Butter. We rebranded because the name was too long and not everyone else associates peanut butter with love the way that I do. And we did want you to be able to find us. And look, you did. I'm so glad you're here. This is episode 209, my second not a date with surfer dude Dex. If you missed my first date with Dex, which I'm guessing a lot of you did because it got shadow banned, I may have used the rhyming term for unsolicited photos of male parts about 40 times, give or take. Yeah, and YouTube didn't like that at all. But it's a great episode, I swear. It's worth a listen. So go check out episode 205 and then come right back here. I interrupt this podcast to bring you a very special announcement. Dating is Nuts is now on Patreon. The crowd goes wild. That's right, Lover Nutters. Not only can you support the pod by watching and listening, now you can become a patron for $7 and know that you're enabling me to keep creating content. Don't worry, this is the good kind of enabling. If you become a patron of mine, you too will get perks, such as behind the scenes video of me recording the podcast, exclusive live streams with me, chances to talk about dating stuff like catfishing, ghosting, and more, the chance to share your own bad date stories or good, open to those too, maybe have them turn into their own future mini episode. Most importantly, your support means that I can keep creating content and hopefully make it better and better and better. The Patreon launched on June 1st, so click on the link in the show notes to become an OG Lover Nutter now. The first 100 of you to sign up will receive exclusive limited edition merch, which is my way of saying thank you for being a fan from the start. I'll see you on Patreon. And now, back to your episode. Dex and I met up to go surfing again, and it developed into a semi-regular occurrence that I was determined to keep platonic. I grew to enjoy his company more and more, and I was surprised by the ease with which we could discuss very difficult topics that are usually reserved for girls' night or couples therapy. The fact that we were not dating gave us a hall pass to talk about all things relationship in a completely hypothetical way. There was no pressure. We threw out questions, probing for that one big deal breaker upon which we would never agree to just get it out of the way before things even had a chance to get started. But we couldn't seem to find one. Dex had so many great questions for me, and while I wasn't completely sure what his intentions were, I didn't feel like I needed to hide anything from him either. It felt like an informal interview, like with a friend who's trying to set you up with another single friend. Do you want to get married? Yes. Do you want to have kids? Yes. Are you open to practicing ethical non-monogamy? Whoa, I don't think so. Normally, when these topics come up in a regular dating scenario, some women, myself included, feel compelled to hide what they truly want, or maybe just not state it so directly in hopes of not scaring off their suitor, which is such bullshit. If you're on a date with a 35-year-old woman or older, it should not come as a surprise to you to hear that she wants love, marriage, babies, and she wants them soon, okay? That's like encountering a bear coming out of hibernation and being surprised that it's hungry. It's springtime, bitches! Let's eat, drink, and make babies. Anyway, Dex and I talked about all the things. Marriage, babies, lifestyle, travel, jobs, cancer, religion, politics, monogamy. You know, all the things you're not supposed to talk about on a first date, but 100% should. We even talked about our exes and dating other people, which I agree should not be talked about on a first date. But this was not a date. Dex was single for the first time in 17 years. And he was thinking about dipping his toe into the world of online dating. I did my best Regina George and praised the idea through a fake-ass smile. You should definitely do that. Yeah, you will love it. And it won't bother me at all. Oh, uh-oh. Oh no, was that a tiny pang of jealousy? Fuck. No, That's fine. We're not even dating. We're just friends, okay? He needs to be single and go out and sow his wild 40-something oats. While I move back up to Tahoe and live with my mom. Yeah, that sounds right. Oh yeah, there was the matter of my impending exit to consider too. I was moving back home temporarily, thanks to COVID. I had moved into my very own place for the first time in my whole life in October 2019. Yeah, great timing. I really enjoyed living alone for the first few months. I mean, dancing naked in my living room was an honor, a privilege, and one of my favorite pastimes. Yeah. But then the whole world shut down and I couldn't even see my friends. And that was not the kind of alone I had signed up for. I had been going back and forth between Tahoe and LA during the pandemic, but my lease was ending soon. So I decided to move back in with my mom up in Tahoe, partly to save money, but mostly because I couldn't stand living in a studio apartment by myself when we were all supposed to be sheltering at home. If I wasn't allowed to leave my dwelling, I at least needed some company in there with me. And having a sweeping forest out the back door didn't exactly hurt either. To me, my leaving was perfect timing because it gave Dex some separation to figure out his divorce and date other people. But also, I 100% agreed that he needed to date other people and that it would be better for us if he did that before we hypothetically moved things out of the friend zone and into the end zone. If hypothetically we were going to date, which I'm not saying that we are, but if we did, I didn't want to be one of many. I respect everyone's freedom to date as many people as they want at a time, and I will protest and burn all of my bras and share as many memes as it takes to ensure that they have the right to do that. But I personally am not great at dating more than one man at a time. So I guess that's a hard no on the ethical non-monogamy for me. At least for now. Still, I didn't love hearing about it. And it seemed like he felt conflicted talking about it. Like he was telling me something off limits or confessing something he had done wrong. It was like we already felt a sense of loyalty to each other, even though we didn't belong to each other. Well, that was kind of cheesy, but you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I laughed it off and warned him / gave him what few pearls of wisdom I had for online dating. When you've been doing it as long as I have, you come to learn a few things. Mainly that you're doing it wrong. Because if you were doing it right, you wouldn't still be doing it. And that, my friends, is almost the definition of insanity, which coincidentally is how years of online dating will make you feel. Dex didn't want me to leave. He did not agree that the timing was good. But there was nothing to be done. I had already given my notice and started packing. But I would be back. Hopefully not too late. I didn't love the idea of him dating other women. Ugh, get out of here, preemptive jealousy. God, ugh. But maybe with some space, that icky feeling would go away. I mean, you know what they say? Absence makes the heart grow less jealous. That's right. Exactly. The last time I saw Dex before I left was when my mom and sister came down to help me move. He met us at the beach, happily agreed to give my sister a surfing lesson, and had no qualms about meeting my mom. He completely won her over, too. Not that it was hard. Okay, the first thing she said about him when she saw him, this was out of earshot, thank God. We were walking across the parking lot to his car, and he was standing there with his wetsuit, like, folded down, and he had a tank top on. And my mom leans into me, and she's like, whoa, nice biceps, huh? And I was like, Mom, I am trying not to think about his biceps. You are not helping. We all had a really nice day together, which didn't help, you know, just made me even sadder about leaving. Thanks a lot, Dex. I didn't even know when I would see him again, or if he would want to see me again, or if he would be single when I saw him again. But I was doing the right thing, right? Right? If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and tell your friends. Seriously, if you thought of anyone during this episode, maybe someone you have a crush on but shouldn't, or maybe the person who has to listen to you talk about the person you shouldn't have a crush on all the time, Send this to them. That's the best thing you can do. Look, obviously it helps me if you send this to them, but I genuinely hope it helps you too, to feel less alone in your chaotic dating journey. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and be sure to tune into the next episode where we will go on our third date with sweet, sweet Andrew. I'm still Kelly Shanley, and I'll see you next time, Lover Nutters. To hear that she wants marriage, babies, and it should not come as, but this was not a date. It was not a date. Marriage, babies, lifestyle, travel, Scrabble. No!